Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Nicole and welcome to a bonus edition of my Handmade Holiday 2023 series. Today we're going to create some fun scene gift tags. So this is where I take an idea that would translate very well and could definitely be a card, but I made it into a gift tag. And this is so super fun to do if you have some cute images like these mama elephant ones that I'm sharing here today, and you want to incorporate them into your gift tag making. I started by stamping images from the two stamp sets that I just was sharing there on the screen. This is the Deliver Winter Joy and Deliver by Truck. So Deliver by Truck is the set that has the truck, and it has lots of cute images that you can put in the back of the truck as well as in the cab of the truck. And Deliver Winter Joy definitely is your set for your Christmassy themed or holiday themed images that you can fill your truck. I'm using those together today. You will notice that I stamped multiples of everything, and I am stamping on craft cardstock with an alcohol ink friendly ink, and then coloring with Olo markers. I absolutely love coloring on craft cardstock, and I think it gives you a little bit different look, and I love the kind of rustic look and feel this is going to provide our crafting and our tags today. Now, if you don't want to make these into tags, you could just put this right on a A2 size card without punching a hole. So up until almost the end of this project, you can take everything here and just put this entire panel on a card base if you would like to, which would be super duper fun, or you could even use it to decorate with if you like to do that. Now, I did start by coloring my image, and as I was coloring along, coloring one of the images, I guess I should say, I will be coloring two more trucks off camera because they're all colored exactly the same, and I am making 3 gift tags today. In my Handmade Holiday series, I do like to create multiples of whatever I'm making to show you and encourage you guys to do the same in your holiday crafting. Now, I will stop briefly and I'm going to move on to creating the backgrounds for my gift tags because there are some things that need to dry before we do some stamping and embossing and add everything to our gift tag. So there will be just like a little brief pause, and I'm going to come back to the coloring, but I thought it was helpful to maybe share that in my video to show that sometimes you might do this too. You might start in one area or start on one thing and then realize, you know what, I need to pivot and go on to something else. Okay, I have die cut 6 of this gift tag. This is the large tag window. This has been out for at least a year or two from Mama Elephant. It is one of my all-time favorite tag sets, mostly because it's super versatile, and I absolutely love that you can turn it into like a house. I love that there's window options and a little roof, and it's just amazing. So here I have placed my tag in my stamp wheel, and then I have masked off the bottom portion with a Hillside stencil and from Fawn, and then I'm taking a brick stencil from Lawn Fawn. Pardon me again. Both of these stencils are from Lawn Fawn. And I am inking the stencil background with some Fired Brick Distress Oxide ink on the upper part of my tag. Now, I'm in full disclosure, I didn't think this through very well. My truck is going to hide completely the snowy border, but I went ahead and left this in the video because let's say you have completely different stamps. You don't have these, special delivery or deliver by truck or the deliver winter joy stamps, and you don't have a truck stamp and you have something else. This is really cute. So then I just moved my stencil up and masked that bottom portion. So I used that top edge of the Hillside stencil to mask while I do the bricking. Then I remove the brick stencil, move the stencil up, and I do the white pigment ink along the bottom for snow. Maybe you have snowman stamps that you want to be sitting outside of this house. Maybe you have reindeer or whatever, Santa, whatever you may have. So I left it in the video because I love it, and I think I'm going to do this for some other things because this turned out super duper cute. Fired brick, by the way, perfect color for my brick house. If you like to, you could always do a grit paste here. I honestly thought these are gift tags, and I decided not to do a grit paste for my brick, even though I love it, because adhering some of the other elements on top sometimes can be a little bit tricky with the grit paste, as it has quite a bit of texture to it. But that is another option. So if you want to maybe even mix in some fired brick re-inker into your grit paste to make it a red, stencil paste, you could do that. I'm going to do this for my 3 tags, just like so. Absolutely, again, love how this turned out. Couldn't be happier with the finished result. I think it is so cute. And that stamp wheel is invaluable for holding things in place while you're stenciling. So now that I have my backgrounds, I want to take the window, and I'm going to use the rectangular window from the large tag window. There's also a small round window, which is super cute. And I have my roof, and I did take the deliver by truck die just as a guide so I know where I want to die cut my window. And then I am going to die cut my window from each of these panels. Once I have that, I will die cut the window again from this dark gray textured cardstock, and I will die cut the roof from that dark gray textured cardstock. And I need 6 of the roofs because I do like to put that on the back. I think it gives a nice finished look. I am not going to stencil the back, and you'll see why here in a little bit. If you are going to use this as a card and not a tag, you wouldn't need any of those extra pieces for the back. In my splatter box, I am reactivating some white gouache, and I am going to splatter the entire front of my house with snow. I think I should probably attach the roof first so that there is snow all over this. And then I'm going to be generous. We are really going to tap on a ton of snow because I want it to be this really snowy scene. I don't want to really add the snow over my stamped and colored images. You could if you wanted to. I just felt like I couldn't control that as much, so I'm only going to do it on the house instead. I didn't want the snow to accidentally cover up any part of my images that I love. And I am going to do this on all 3 backgrounds. Now, the gouache does dry quickly, but we have gouache and Distress Oxide and Pigment ink. These all take a little bit of time to dry, and I'm pretty sure that I want to stamp and emboss a phrase on the side of my house next to the window, right to the right of the window. And because of that, and because it will take a little bit for those inks to dry, I want to have this done while I work on my coloring. I basically have 3 complete scenes to color, which will take me a little bit of time. These are all things that I kind of thought through as I started coloring that first truck image, and just things that you may want to keep in mind when you are creating as well. Now, yes, you could speed up the dry time of your Distress Oxide ink with a heat tool. I've talked about this before that I don't really love doing that. Now, my camera cut off, unfortunately, but I did, when those were dry, take my window and I backed it with some pearlescent vellum. just a small rectangle, like a 2 by 3 rectangle maybe, or a 2¼ by 3¼ inch rectangle. And then I inlaid my windowsill, and I did take some Snowfall grit paste just with the tip of my palette knife and apply it in the windows so it looks like some textured icy snow is sitting in those windows. And you'll see that a little bit more up close here in a little bit. I am coloring in the rest of my images. As you can see, I've got my other trucks colored, but I did want to color the rest of the images I'm using for my tags on camera. I have sped it up to save some time. This is a little bit longer video. Anytime you have coloring, that is going to take a little bit more time. One of the reasons I wanted to have this bonus video up early on here in November is so that if you want to recreate or do something similar, you will have time before the holiday season. My goal here with my Handmade holiday series, especially this year and going forward, is to have this start early enough that if you guys want to implement some of these ideas, you can. And I always link on my blog post that is linked down in the description below the video here on YouTube back to previous year's Handmade holiday videos. So over the last 10 years, I have been doing Handmade holiday. I have linked back to those previous videos, and you can go watch those at any time. Hopefully for just inspiration or just to keep you company while you are Christmas crafting, which I have to tell you guys is my favorite. If it isn't obvious, I love Christmas crafting. I love making gift tags. I love making gift bags. I love making cards. I love making cross stitch and quilting, and I just love all of the things. So I even listened to Christmas music while I was making this. Yes, I did make these during October, which seemed so wrong, but that is okay. I was digging it and it was fantastic. I hope I'm not tired of it by the time that Christmas rolls around. But I'm really, really happy to be bringing this series to you guys so much earlier this year, and also including bonus content and videos. This is a 6-week series where I have new videos every Monday for 6 weeks. I do have that schedule on my dashboard page and on my blog. So you can check that out, but this is a bonus content video because I just had this idea for these tags and thought, wouldn't this be a fun idea for a bonus for Handmade Holiday? Now, you can see for the sheep, I took a white Polychromos colored pencil and I colored in the white of the sheep. I also colored in the white of my candy canes. Anytime I have something that needs to be white and I am coloring on craft cardstock with an alcohol ink marker like Olo, I take a white colored pencil and color those areas in. It ends up being a beautiful bright white, and it's the perfect way to still achieve that. If you were coloring on white cardstock, it wouldn't be a big deal, but where it's on craft, I don't want it to be craft colored. So I love to have a white polychromo colored pencil, or a couple of them, in my stash at all times. I love this image. I love that all of these critters are Mama Elephant style. That means if you have any previous stamps from Mama Elephant with reindeer and penguins and cats, and the little sheep, whatever it might be, it's going to be the same style as what you see here. And I think that is phenomenal, especially for mixing and matching, especially for scene building and doing all the things that we love to do as makers. I am taking a white pen and adding detail to all of my images. So you're going to see this throughout all of the images that I have added a little bit of highlight here and there. And once everything is die cut, I talk about this a lot in my videos, but in case this is your first time here, welcome. But I like to die cut everything before I go in with a black Jelly Roll pen and add detail to eyes, or noses or whatever I want to add a black jelly roll detail to, which in this case today will just be some eyes on the critters. And the reason being is I feel like the black jelly roll kind of smooshes or flattens when run through the rollers of a die cutting machine, and I want it to maintain the texture. It's not dimensional, so I hesitate to even say that, but I feel like there's a difference. So I always die cut first, and then I add my black jelly roll pen details. The other thing I like to do is I like to have it all colored. I kind of had planned all of these out on my tags, on the blank tags before I ever did my stenciling. So I knew what images I wanted to work together. And I like to die cut with one pass of my machine, or I will have to go at least 3 times. I have 3 trucks for these gift tags. But I like to make the most of my die cutting time, I suppose, if you will. So I will definitely be laying the dies, pardon me, on my paper. I use a little Post-it tape to hold them in place temporarily while I run them through my die cutting machine. I do that part off camera just because my die cutting machine is big and I don't want to bring it in front of the camera really, but I will die cut everything and have it all ready to go to assemble the tags. And I'm going in and really adding lots of pen detail to everything. So I have die cut all of my images. You can see them all here. Look how cute. Oh my gosh, you guys. Now I know this particular image that goes in the back of the truck, and it doesn't have to, by the way. You could use it without the truck. It sticks up the highest. So I use that one as a guide for where to stamp special delivery. Now there is a fantastic special delivery greeting stamp that I used on a previous card from the October 2023 release, but I went to the Essential Tag Sayings stamp set that's from either a release or 2 back that has tag sayings that fit a lot of different occasions, but there's a special delivery greeting in this, and the size and scale of this one fits my card. So that is something else to keep in mind. Even if you really, really love a certain sentiment and it doesn't fit your project, see what else you may have in your stash. That's what I did. I went and found something else in my stash, and I'm really glad I did because the size and scale of this special delivery fits perfect. I'm stamping and embossing that on each front of the tag using white embossing powder, and then on the back of my tag, because remember I've die cut 3 more of the craft gift tags and 3 more of the dark textured gray roofs. I'm going to assemble the roof so that I make sure spacing wise I don't stamp the rest of my greeting too high, and I am going to stamp From Me to You on the back. Just the perfect little finishing touch. Now here is a good look at that vellum that I placed on the back of my window tag, and then of course inlaid in my window, and I put the texture paste into the windowsill so that it looks frosty. The pearlescent vellum, if you have it, is amazing because it has a little bit of that pearlescent sheen to it, and it's not just that vellum, just flat vellum. I love pearlescent vellum for holiday crafting, and I love it for a wintry window. And then I'm going to adhere my front and back of my tags back to back. And I actually put something heavy on top. In this case, it's my Misty to help hold it kind of nice and flat while that glue is drying. And then I'm going to assemble the scenes on each one of my tags. But I really want to get, the front and the back of each of these put together and see how it looks like a little house. I love it. From some gold matte cardstock, I did die cut 6 hole reinforcers. I'm going to glue 1 on the front of my tag, and then I'm going to take a hole punch and punch through the whole thing. This is a crocodile hole punch. And by doing that, it punches through the back, and then I can add my hole reinforcer on the back. That hole reinforcer is part of this awesome Mama Elephant large tag window. See why I love this set so much, you guys? It has everything. Now, this is where I was talking earlier that up until the point that I add the hole reinforcer, this could just be a house that you add to your card. You could put it on a 5x7 card and put a tree next to it if you wanted to, or all kinds of things. So keep that in mind. If you aren't needing more gift tags and you would rather turn this into a card, you could do that very, very easily. Even a shaped card if you wanted to. So now I'm ready to assemble my scenes. I'm going to glue my trucks in place right down along the bottom edge of each of these scenes. And then I'm going to fill my truck with a cute little group of images in the back and the bed of the truck, and then a fun little furry driver, if you will. Or a fun little critter driver. I tried to match them up a little bit, like the sheep was driving, and then there's a sheep in the back of the truck on this one. And here's my black Jelly Roll pen to add detail into the eyes. Look how cute this is, you guys. I just love it so much. It turned out so good. Exactly what I thought in my head, which, you know, doesn't always happen, and I'm always delighted when it does. Let's go ahead and do our next one. Now this one is a little bit more plain, I would say, because I just did a Christmas tree, but I feel like that's a classic. I love that tree in the back of the truck. We've got a little kitty driving this one. And because this particular tag has a little less going on, that one is going to have more window dressing or window decoration. So those extra pieces that I stamped and colored are window or accessories. Kind of, at least that's how I figure them. And then we have a penguin driving with the penguin and all of those ornaments. This is a huge candy cane swag with a bow, and that's what I chose to put on the window there with the truck with the tree. For the truck with the penguins, it's still a lot, but not as much. So I did the wreath with the bear, and then I did the little holly berries on the truck that has a lot more going on. And I'm just putting something heavy again on top to hold that nice and flat. I'm making sure all of the eyes on my critters, I have added my black Jelly Roll pen to make their little faces pop. And I love how my tags are turning out. So cute, so fun. You could really just thread some twine through at this point if you wanted and call it good. But we're gonna go ahead and decorate. Now, I left this in as well because I made an error. I really love Hero Art's crystal lacquer, but it doesn't spread as easy. It's great for small areas, and I had forgotten that. So I really only wanted to go around the tire, but then I did the whole wheel, and instantly, you guys, I had remorse. I did. And I thought, oh my gosh, I've messed up my tag. I don't want, maybe I should just leave it. Maybe, you know, maybe it'll be okay. And I grabbed the glossy accents and I went ahead and I'm going to apply that around the wheels of my next truck. And the whole time, you guys, the whole time I'm doing it, I am looking at that first tag and I'm so sad. I'm so mad at myself because look at the glossy accents and how well that spreads. They are both fantastic products. I just really wanted to show how that draws a line, the glossy accents, so much better. So I ended up taking something nice and like a little scooper, the other end of my Hero Arts tool, and I actually scraped off all of the crystal lacquer before it dried and was able to salvage that tag. It wasn't dry. It hadn't been on for very long. I didn't film, I didn't cut it out, but I turned off my camera when I was cleaning that up, but I just carefully scooped it and wiped it off. And I worked quickly but carefully, and I was able to salvage that truck. Then I did end up adding glossy accents to a few other areas on my tags, things like the candy canes and the holly berries. I don't remember if I did anything else, just a few little areas here and there. And then I'm going to allow that to completely dry. Look how awesome it looks now that it's dry and shiny. Bows. I cannot stop using this bow tool from my friend Chantal of 141 Design. I will create all 3 of them here on camera. Please slow it down if you want to. I have shown it slower in some videos. This is a single bow. I love doing doubles as well, but single was all I felt like this needed here. This is some ribbon from Spellbind. I think it's called Vivant. I'm probably saying that wrong, Vivant, but it's from Spellbinders sells it, and Hero, oh my gosh, you guys, Simon Says Stamp and Spellbinders both carry it. I love it. I've been using all the different colors on my gift tags, and I've been using them on cross stitch finishes and all kinds of things. Love it. I'm going to put a little dab of glue right below the hole reinforcer, and I'm adding my bow. I like to use reverse tweezers to hold that down in place while the glue dries. I'm just addicted to making these bows. So that first one, I had way too much excess waste. Really, about 13 to 14 inches of ribbon for a single bow is plenty. And you can see it's just kind of wrap around, make a loop, and tie it. But if you struggle making the perfect bows, and y'all, I struggle. I know not everyone does. I know there's different hacks and things out there, but these tools are invaluable, in my opinion, for creating amazing bows for all your different projects. And I love showing how, yes, my friend Chantal does cross-stitch display board finishes, but look at how you can use this tool for paper crafting. Absolutely amazing. So I am gluing these bows to the top of all of my tags. And then once I have those in place, I'm going to cut about 10 inches of some natural twine, and I'm going to thread that through the hole in the top and knot it. And that is going to be the finish for my gift tags. And that is it. So just a pretty little, oh no, it's not it. I lied. I am going to add a scattering of some snowflake confetti to each of these houses, just to reinforce that snowy feel. And you guys know I like to be totally extra with all the things, including the Snowfall grip paste in the windows. I just love the texture, and tags give you, and decor items give you the ability to really play with texture easily, where you don't have to be quite as concerned with sending something through the mail and worrying that it may, get banged up. Tags are just one of those things that I don't worry about. So we're going to do a little trio of snowflake confetti on each one of these. Love how they turn out, and I will give you a close-up look at each finished tag, but I couldn't love these more. If you love scene cards, you're going to love making scene tags and using all of your same favorite products to create absolutely adorable gift tags for all of your loved ones. So I think we're just about finished with everything here. Let me grab my twine. And I do like to start with a uniform length. So that's why I said I did like that 10 inches of twine. That way they all end up pretty close, especially if you want to gift this set of gift tags to someone. I'm sure my daughter will be by to pilfer gift tags that she wants to use. She loves helping herself to those kinds of things, and I have plenty because I love to make them. So that is absolutely a-okay. And I like to leave those tweezers on until the glue is completely dry. I do have multiple sets. You could just put something heavy on top as well. The glue was probably almost dry at this point, but I wanted to make sure that the bow wasn't going to come off. Thank you guys so much for joining me today for this bonus Handmade Holiday 2023 video featuring creating some gift tags that feature little scenes on them using Mama Elephant stamps and dies. The supplies I used to create these gift tags are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube.